Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter. With us now on the phone is Jenny Beth Martin, founder of the Tea Party Patriots, one of the groups unfairly targeted by the IRS. And Ms. Martin, thanks so much for being with us today.
Oh, thanks for talking to me, Kathleen.
Well, you've come out saying that your group was among those unfairly scrutinized by the IRS. Can you explain to us exactly how your group was targeted and how exactly the IRS harassed you and the Tea Party Patriots?
So the Tea Party Patriots applied for both a 501c4 and a 501c3 nonprofit status from the IRS. And we have never had our final answer for approval from them. We've had requests for lots of different information from us, and still they are stringing us along. It's been years. And before 2009, they were approving 501c4 and c3 statuses usually between 4 and 9 months is how long it took. But in our case, it's been years, and it's been that way with several other Tea Party groups around the country.
Jenny Beth, why do you think Tea Party Patriots and conservative groups ended up in the crosshairs, if you will, of the IRS?
I cannot answer why, which is why I think we need to have a congressional hearing to find out exactly what the motives were behind this. What we saw from the AP reporting on Saturday is that they were targeting groups with Tea Party and Patriots in the name, and they also were flagging any groups that wanted to make America better or to educate on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And it's just crazy. Why in the world would they be targeting groups who wanted to make America better or that are educating on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, our basic founding documents of our country?
At a press conference just moments ago, President Obama said that he first learned of the IRS harassment from news reports. He says that it's outrageous, that there's no place for it, that the IRS should be held fully accountable. Do you believe that this unfair scrutiny came about from amongst the lower echelons of government only, or do you believe that these IRS workers got the orders to target you from higher ups?
I don't know whether they got the orders from higher up or not, which is part of the reason why I think we need to have an investigation and make sure we fully understand whether it came from how high it went. On Friday, Lois Lerner, who's Lois Lerner, who is an attorney with the IRS, said it was only lower level employees. Well, on Saturday, we found out that in June of 2011, this same lady, Lois Lerner, actually was aware of this situation with the Tea Party groups in the IRS. So is she a lower level employee? It doesn't make any sense that just a few lower level employees could cause this much trouble for groups all over the country without some sort of managerial and supervision involved.
So what do you make of new reports that this harassment extends beyond the Tea Party and beyond conservative groups, that other groups critical of the government and maybe even a pro-Israel group might have been targeted as well?
I think it is very, very concerning that this many groups are having so much trouble. When you spend money, when you collect money and spend money on certain political activities, when you're trying to express your concern about legislation, you have to have a status from the IRS, and you have to comply with FEC rules and IRS regulations. If they're holding it up and preventing you from ever getting your status approved, it affects your ability to exercise that free speech, and it concerns me greatly to find out that it's not just Tea Party groups, but also potentially pro-Israel and Jewish groups. It seems like it's more widespread than originally thought.
The IRS has apologized. Can you accept the agency's apology?
No, a simple apology is not enough. If an individual or a business made a mistake on their taxes, would the IRS accept just an apology? No, they wouldn't. Those who did this need to be held accountable, and they need to be disciplined, they need to be terminated, or they need to resign. They are abusing their power by holding this up and stringing groups along for as many years as this has been going on.
I understand that your group might demand reimbursement from the IRS for the very costly review. What can you tell us about this?
We are working with our attorneys right now and with our accountants to find out how much money this has indeed cost us. It has been we've spent a lot of time and resources on this over the years. We've helped other groups who run into the same problems. We've made our attorneys available to those groups to help them as well. And so we're looking at all that to determine exactly how much it's cost us and whether we can actually sue for damages or not. It has been harmful to us, and I think that we will be able to make a case that we've had damages because of it.
If you can sue, will you?
If we can sue, we will. And we also, regardless of the ability to sue or not, we want a congressional investigation so those who were responsible are held accountable.
Last question for you, Jenny Beth. The Internal Revenue Service's targeting of conservative groups raises serious questions about how it plans to handle the taxes and penalties associated with Obamacare, according to former House Speaker Newt Gingrich. Do you agree with the Speaker Gingrich's assessment?
Yes, in fact, this is one of the first things I thought of on Friday. This is exactly part of the reason why we're so concerned about Obamacare. The IRS and unelected bureaucrats should not have this much power over the American people. And when they're abusing this kind of power, and it's something that is not as consequential as a person's health, it's very, very concerning, and it should concern all Americans and make us question, do you really want the IRS to have this much control over groups and abuse their power like this and potentially do it in the future when it comes to your own health care decisions? I know I don't, and I'm willing to bet most Americans don't want that to happen either, regardless of political affiliation.
All right, Jenny Beth Martin, founder of Tea Party Patriots, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Kathleen.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.